Hello, 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 and welcome to My Empty Hands, a podcast about the martial arts with a focus on Kempo. As always, I am Reggie Darden, and today I have another wonderful guest that I've been looking forward to chatting with and hearing her story for quite a while. So, Quartay DeNaya. I probably.
Yes. Yep, yep.
All
You got it.
right,
You
all
got
right,
it.
all right. Yeah, we're gonna get into her journey and excited to learn about her story. For those that may not have uh, seen some of her videos and such on various social media platforms. She is quite the Kempo stylist, and I suspect you've also done some other things from some of the videos I've seen, but we'll get into that more as we go along. But yeah, I'm just really excited to chat with you. I first became aware of you. You kind of popped up in one of my YouTube, uh, I don't know, YouTube feeds, YouTube scrolls, whatever.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, like who's this? It got some pretty good moves. I believe you were still a blue belt. I think was one of the first videos that I saw, and
Okay,
uh,
okay.
it was saw the video, and your movements were pretty good, and I was like, oh, we're like right on, blue belt representing here. So I was excited to see that. I am uh, think I was probably just got my purple, or I might have still been an orange when I first saw it. So seeing a colored belt move well, and just getting out there and representing was nice to see. So I was cheering for you from the get go,
Yes.
and then
Oh,
once I started doing the show here, I was like, okay, I definitely have to get her on to find out all the details. Um, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and turn it over to you. How did Kempo find you? Where did you get started? And we'll just kind of go from there.
okay. Well, I guess I can say that my interest in martial arts started from a very young age. I used to around the age of 6, 7, 8ish. I used to spend a lot of my summers with my grandmother, and she lived in Kankakee, Illinois. So I was born and raised in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So my mom and I would drive down to Kankakee, and I'd stay with her for the summers. And always have really fond memories of my time there. But unfortunately, I had a lot of bullies. I was kind of like the city girl in the country. And so a lot of the kids bullied me a lot for that. So it was a little tough. It was a little tough socially for me. I was already a very, very shy, reserved kid. I was just so shy. I had a lot of trouble making friends at that time. And so, the bullies, they kind of affected me a lot. And I remember my grandfather Roosevelt, he I used to talk to him about it because my grandma was real tough. She was always like, punch him back, punch him. And I'm like, I was still so shy like that. I couldn't even imagine something like that. But my grandfather, who was into martial arts too, he kind of sat me down. Like I still remember this one particular memory, and him holding his hands up and asking me to do some essentially some heel palms, some tiger heel palms to his hands. And that was the only thing he really taught me. I think that's probably the only thing that he knew, but he gave me something. And I remember feeling in that moment like, okay, maybe next time I can do something other than submit to the bullies, or feel small and feel weak. I have something. I've done like these heel palms with my grandfather that gave me just a little bit of confidence. But even just that little bit of confidence was something that stuck with me up until today, until my adult life. Um, but moving forward a little bit, I grew up mainly a gymnast. I started the sport of gymnastics pretty late. I was 10 years old. Honestly, gymnastics and martial arts were always the sports that I wanted to do, but I was definitely not raised with a silver spoon in my mouth, so it wasn't something that was financially feasible for my family whatsoever. So it was mostly just kind of having dreams of it until middle school, where they had kind of this free and reduced lunch program that my family was a part of. And so with that, I was able to do gymnastics, join the school's gymnastics team, and essentially not have to pay because of being a part of that program. And so once I had my chance, in my eyes, I'm like, wow, I've been waiting for this moment like my whole life. I finally get to do it. And so I knew then that I really wanted to do my best. My mother drilled into me for as far back as I can remember that I can do anything I put my mind to as long as I put my mind to it and I focus and I'm diligent and determined and responsible for my ambition. I can do essentially anything in the world. And I really told myself that over and over again and let that kind of settle into my heart and my spirit. And gymnastics gave me a place where I can really kind of put that into practice. And so especially with the sport like gymnastics, a lot of people start their children in that sport very, very young. And I would know now because I'm a gymnastics coach. I have been teaching for, oh man, 13 years. So I know that everybody kind of starts their kid out at the younger ages, like maybe toddlers, 2, 3, 4, maybe. But so when I was going into gymnastics at 10, I had a lot of kind of subtle um, comments made from mentors and, counselors and just, the people in my life at that time saying that, oh, I don't know, maybe pick something else that, I don't know how much success you'll actually get in this sport. And, that was a little disheartening at first, but it really gave me some fire to really kind of prove them wrong because I knew I loved the sport. I knew I was interested in it. And so I decided to take it upon myself to do it anyways and to kind of really be courageous in my pursuit of that. And so fast forward, I did that. I, worked my way up. And by my junior and senior year, I was captain of my varsity high school team and found a lot of fulfillment in taking on more of a leadership role, not just competing, but also being able to help and motivate and inspire my teammates, and then to give them notes and give them clarifications that made them better. It really fueled me, and it was a wonderful feeling, which really led me into teaching, which I did pretty much immediately after kind of, I guess, concluding my gymnastics career. I knew I wasn't going to the Olympics. I knew I wasn't going to be competing nationally or anything like that. And it'd still be kind of a tough pull to go to university. But I did know that I loved the sport. I knew that it taught me a lot about myself and it gave me an incredible work ethic that that helped me build my acting career and get into college and graduate with honors. And it just really taught me how to be disciplined in my mind and courageous in my action because, gymnastics isn't something you can do halfway. So um, I knew as a career, though, I wanted to act. And so after graduating high school, I came to Los Angeles, went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, stayed there, got my degree, got an additional acting certification, and then kind of moved into the hustle of it. So, which is, as they say, as difficult as everyone said it was. But also, I had a lot of successful moments that I'm truly grateful for. And with that, though, with my career, there's also the other side. There's a lot of rejection, a lot of hard work put into it, and it was wearing on me a little bit. It was wearing on me, and I had just put so much of my time and focus into auditions and acting, that I knew I needed something to give me a little more balance. Um, and I like this is like probably my favorite part of my story in terms of coming to martial arts, um, because it felt like just any other night. I was up really late. I couldn't sleep, which is not normally a problem for me. I'm like out like a light when it's time to go. Like I'm gone.
No,
don't
I'm
don't
with you.
don't try to
With
wake
you on
me.
that.
Like I'm like I hibernate. So whenever I find myself kind of in a bout of insomnia, for lack of better words, I feel that, it's God kind of beckoning me to get into the word. I love the Lord. I love Jesus Christ. I've given my life to him. And so I felt him kind of calling to my spirit one night. And, whenever I kind of have these moments and I feel that call, I try to be very obedient to it. And I went into my word. And long story short, it led me to kind of hearing his voice and feeling led to look into martial arts, which was very exciting because, it's always something that I wanted to do, as I told you, from my childhood. But I was so focused on my career, I was able to do gymnastics. So I guess I reached a level of like, well, I at least got one of them. I at least got one of the two, but feeling this like call, I guess is just the best way to describe it, towards martial arts really got me kind of energized. And so it was definitely a night I did not sleep. It was an all-nighter. I just remember being on my laptop and searching like all the different styles of karate and or styles of martial arts. And so I was looking at karate and judo and jujitsu and taekwondo and Muay Thai. And I knew I took a Krav Maga class for a little while back in the day too. So just like I wanted to be really well versed in the different styles of martial arts so that I could find something that worked for me, because I wanted to have practical self defense skills. Like I wanted to actually train my body in something that would um, keep me safe, and keep the people I love safe, while also finding something that interested me in terms of the movement. Being a gymnastics coach, I had trained my eye to such a specific degree that I wanted something that can kind of engage my mind in that way and that challenged me. I do know that I can pick up things pretty well in terms of athletics and movement. I know that I'm kind of a fast learner in that way, but I wanted something that like really intrigued me. So I was very specific in what I was looking for in terms of style. And of course, school, teachers, community in that way. So I remember going first to a Taekwondo school. Um, I enjoyed it. I realized very early on that I was probably going to enjoy all of the martial arts styles,
Yeah, I'm
because
with
I
you.
enjoy martial arts and there's like so much to learn from everything. Taekwondo was great because I had already had the flexibility and the balance from gymnastics, so that felt like a really easy, or not really easy, but that would have been a nice choice based off of my background. Um, but I wasn't a big fan of the lack of upper body, and it didn't feel as balanced as
Hmm.
I was looking for. Um, Although I still think it's incredible, and there's some incredible Taekwondo practitioners. I I didn't think that that's where I needed to be, and I didn't feel any confirmation in my spirit for that, so I moved on. Tried out some jujitsu, which I felt was very, very practical. But I can listen. I can be honest with you right now, Reggie. I'm a black girl, okay?
Hmm.
And as much as I love the fight and the tumble, I'm not trying to have anybody dealing with my hair. I'm not trying to roll around on the mat. Listen. I get it, and and I still and I still did go and kind of explore jujitsu. And I think jujitsu is so like invaluable. The skills within that kind of grappling ground fighting. I'm still definitely going to uh, train in jujitsu in the future for sure, but I don't know if I'm going to do it as formally and as intensely as I did with Kempo. So, but I
I
did
like that
find
you
a lot
I
of
like that you say that, because that kind of mirrors my thoughts about jujitsu. I'm gonna
yeah.
have to say previously, because actually you can't see it right now, but I am actually wearing my jujitsu pants. I just started jujitsu a few weeks ago, Brazilian jiu-jitsu,
Oh,
and
nice.
I was going to go for the noon class, but a pesky thing like work got in the way, so I'm gonna have to go to the evening class. But I was never really super interested in doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Uh,
Yeah.
dating myself, I was uh, quite much like the rest of the world, was quite shocked and surprised by the first UFC event, and seeing Hoist Gracie do his thing, and just
Hmm.
Brazilian Jiu Jitsu just really uh, got thrust upon the martial arts world, and took what everybody had in their minds about style versus style. Brazilian Jiu Jitsu just really shook everybody's belief systems all to everywhere. And so
Hmm.
I did some rolling around back in the day with my Kempo buddies, and didn't really understand it. And since doing this show, I've talked to quite a few Kempo folk that are getting into the jiu-jitsu now, and uh, have really great things to say about it. And I've always felt that yes, you should have some sort of a ground game, but I was never particularly interested in formally training in jiu-jitsu. But now, from just kind of all the recommendations, and now giving it more of a fair shot in training and doing the training classes, I've warmed up a lot more to the painful snuggling, the art of folding clothes while people are still in it. That's
Hmm.
it's a fun time, but I can definitely relate to. Yeah, it wasn't really my thing. I like kicking and punching, and
Yeah.
so it's taken some time to get warmed up to it, but I do like having all the different things in my toolbox now, and uh, looking at looking forward to getting more. Jiu-jitsu is a lot more technical than I realized, uh, which is very nice in complement with Kempo, in that Kempo is very
Mm.
technical, and knowing those principles, knowing the all these the little bits really makes for such a better fighter, better student, a better teacher, better all
Absolutely.
around person. So I'm definitely warming up to it, and excited to see what's next. But that's just
Yeah. Yeah.
my
It's
little jujitsu tangent. uh,
no, yeah, absolutely. Like it's you can't deny it. I guess I see it as just another zone. We
mhm,
train in Kempo for like different zones, going high, going mid, going low, and then there's the ground. So
mhm.
that's like the last the last zone that like I definitely would like to continue my martial arts journey in. Um but so yeah, I was saying I was going through some of these different styles. I think the style that I kind of resonated most with out of the ones that I did try was Krav Maga. Um, but then I ended up at Shaolin American at SASTA by Donnie Jeffco, who was your last guest I saw.
Yeah, it is
Um,
interesting time. I swear I didn't plan it this way, but yeah, as we're recording today, my episode with him released today. So Yeah, just
Yes,
crazy
yes,
crazy timing how that worked out. But yeah, it was a
yeah,
joy to speak with him, and uh, yeah, check it out,
yeah.
folks,
So
who haven't
I came
maybe heard it.
across, yeah, I came across Shaolin American, and I love the community of people. That was kind of one of my first impressions. Some of the other schools I had tried, not that, they weren't nice or anything like that. It's just, there's just like different energies. I could feel the different energies. Even with the jujitsu class, it was kind of the women's jujitsu class, which I appreciated very much. But at the same time, it was I could just feel like there's just like I don't know, it's hard to describe it. There's this
Yeah.
weird trepidation in the room that just made me feel like uneasy, and
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't
no,
know this. I don't.
I can relate to that as well as at this particular point. I'm kind of in a transitional period as far as uh, being. I was kind of like you were. I was kind of school shopping. My Kempo school closed down recently, unfortunately. So
Mhm.
I was like, well, maybe this is the time to start uh, looking at other styles while I kind of figure out how my Kempo journey is going to continue. And so yeah, I tried some jujitsu schools, tried a Shotokan school.
Yeah,
Few FMA schools, a Hapkido school, kind of been all over the place. And yeah, there's a definitely a different energy. While I
yeah,
thought the school was fine and the instructors were fine, and everything was nice, just that vibe, that there's that thing that you can't really put your finger on it, but it's like this is maybe not the right place for me, or maybe right at this particular time this is not the place for me. So yeah, I can
yeah,
relate.
yeah. So it yeah, I guess that's maybe it was the schools, but once I went into my Kempo school, I kind of started to feel my spirit feel like okay, this feels like a place for me. So just by the people, I really wanted the people around me and my dojo mates to I wanted to feel comfortable with them. Doing self defense is already, especially as a woman, is already kind of a daunting task coming into something brand new. I have my life experiences where I had to deal with violence and abuse and bullying and all of that. So I had my past traumas that made it kind of already like I was taking up a lot of courage just by like following through with this. This little calling I felt in the middle of the night on a random like Thursday or something.
Hmm.
So I show up and the instructors were wonderful. And the people were nice and welcoming, and it really had a great sense of community. But then there was the Kempo. And I just remember like seeing it for the first time, like in person. I'm just like, what is this? Like, what is I'm trying to look at the hands, I'm trying to look at the knees, the feet, and now they're on the floor. I'm like, what just happened? And I became so intrigued by what I was looking at. I wanted to figure it out. I wanted to know it. I wanted to um, um, have the knowledge of that. I I think going back to my childhood and being kind of shy and being I spent a lot of time alone. Even, my beautiful, wonderful mother, she was a single mother, and she was working 2, 3 jobs. And it got to a point where, I was going to daycare, but there was bullying there even. There
Hmm.
was just a lot of difficult situations happening with the childcare providers. And so it got to the point where, I remember her sitting me down and telling me, like, I know you're a mature kid for your age. I'm going to teach you how to kind of essentially like like take care of yourself on your own. So, she'd leave me at the house alone at a very early age, and like 7. And like, don't answer the door if there's a fire. Here's what you do. Kind of, hit me with the basics. And I know how to follow that. I don't want any of that to happen. So I'm like, okay, I'm listening, taking notes. Like, okay, mama got you. And so with that though, I spent a lot of time alone. So socially, I didn't have a lot of friends. All I had was kind of my imagination, which I think led to, my pursuit of a career in acting. And my mother is the biggest martial arts fan I think I've ever met.
Oh wow.
Uh, she's kind of like never did it, but is like the one that will have every VHS. And I don't know, like maybe this is just my household, so I'm gonna put that out there in case other people go do this too. But she's got this thing going where she doesn't like a quiet house. She has to have like a movie on or like a
Hmm.
show on. There just has to be something playing at all times. And so when that was like when she was gone, I turned all the TVs off. But then when she was there, it was constant martial arts films. So it's like it feels like I was just raised in martial arts. They were just always around me. They were always on, like Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee. Like it was just, Steven Seagal. It was just it was constant. It was constant. So I think those two things too, kind of being kind of isolated for a lot of my childhood, and my mother's kind of love for martial arts films, and kind of she would like to watch them and do the kind of react like the, oh wow, he got hit, or oh, he got smacked. Look at rewinding the VHS back to that one moment, like crying in tears kind of thing. It was brought her a lot of joy. And I'm just like, Mom, that's kind of violent. Don't you think that's kind of like, but what about mercy? She's like, oh girl, you know what I mean? God, ain't no mercy. Look at him, popped him in the face. I'm like, okay. So I guess that's the real root of, I think, my love for martial arts. I didn't know it until later on in life how much it really affected me. But um so yes, going back to what I was saying, going into Kempo, I really wanted to figure out what this was. I made it happen so that I could sign up, and started my journey there. And I remember just loving how like technical it was, how there was so much to think about. It was like a way of thinking instead of just do this here and do that there, and kind of leaving a lot of space where the kempoist, the practitioner, has to kind of decide what they're going to do next, how much force they're going to use, what target they're going to use, what weapon they're going to use. It was so interesting to me, and it's like I feel like I started my martial arts journey kind of thinking about my career and thinking about practical self defense, but then like I think Kempo just gave me way more than I even ever anticipated. While training, I guess, like what ended up happening was I just like fell head over heels in love with it. I realized that Kempo and martial arts was something that I needed, and becoming a martial artist kind of deepened my understanding and connection to myself and who I really am. And I feel like, you know, the that God really used this as almost like a vehicle to more inner healing for me. It was like a catalyst even to awake my inner fighter, or to find this balance within my spirit, but through my body. I really just felt this deep spiritual connection to it. And um I guess that's what really, like, this like internal transformation that I felt happening, started to give me, like, I guess I see a lot of things in my head visually. I think just from my upbringing, as I told you, I spent a lot of time in my head, whether that's like very critically thinking, logically thinking, or creatively thinking. And I just had this vision of taking Kempo, and I wanted to like I wanted to expand upon it. I wanted to share it with the world. I feel like it's like, how did this thing exist? And I didn't know until now. Like, what, and then I go online because I'm heavy on the research. I will research. I will go into something and figure it out if I did like put my mind on it, right? So I started to just look up Kempo online, and I found some stuff, but I'm like, I don't feel like I'm finding like the example of the Kempo I figured I would find, if that makes sense. Like not to, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus here or anything like that, but it was hard to find any women doing Kempo. It was hard to find black people doing kempo. I mean, there were, but they were harder to find. And if you did, it's like it's a picture of them, and I can't see the movement. And I'm very big on the movement. I want to see it. I want to be able to look at it and like have my eyes on it. And um, I knew that there's kind of a hole there, and I took it upon myself. I'm like, I can do this. This is a place where I can spread Kempo, and I know my love for Kempo will be captured. I know how cameras like can kind of can show the soul, show the essence of the individual, and I know it's changing me. So I wanted to start taking that to social media. Um, I knew that I needed to kind of be better about social media as an actor. But I, like most, I'm like, this doesn't, like, I don't want to do this online thing. Like, no, I could be doing better things with my time. I wasn't, and still kind of not a social media person, but I knew that it was a platform and it was something that I could use to kind of get to my goal here. So then I decided to kind of commit to that. And I wanted so badly to uh, be a positive role model and representative of Black girls and Black women in martial arts and show a certain level of excellency on behalf of them. And to, because I just know growing up with all those martial arts films and all the stuff my mom put on, you know what I mean? It was like, I can tell you, other than Catwoman, right?
Yeah.
And, or like
Yeah.
Storm, but like, I couldn't find them. I couldn't see me in those spaces, which is probably why I overlooked a lot of it growing up. But, now I'm older, know better. I know that they are out there, but it's just you don't see them. And so this was a place where I could also kind of fulfill that, for the young girls, um, for young girls today, and also everybody, but, especially them, because of course my personal connection to that. So I started doing that. I remember feeling absolutely awkward at the beginning. Still kind of awkward, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I'm right there
It's
with
a
you.
it's a scary place. It's weird. You don't really know what's going to work, what's not going to work. And I'm already kind of a perfectionist. Working on that one, but being so critical of myself, and that's also hard because it's like I know that I'm learning. I can't expect perfection, but I want to put out my best. So not necessarily being a black belt, I'm like, how do I share without like completely regretting all of this when by the time I'm black belt and I actually know what I'm doing, you know what I mean?
Oh
But
yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
decided, I think it's a way of kind of letting go, being okay with vulnerability, which a lot of people I think struggle with too. It's like, you know, perfection isn't that's never a good setup, striving for that. So I figured at least I felt in my heart and my spirit that um people seeing the actual journey, the true journey of not knowing and then knowing, and putting in hard work and growing, um that they would relate to that. And I kind of think like my documentation of that would be inspiring, and sometimes inspiration is strongest, I think, not in just like the accolades or it's more about the journey. And so I found that kind of willpower to do it anyways. I think too, being at my school, and I'm moving up in the ranks. Like I said, I'm not a black belt, but like I'm going online, and so it just felt a little awkward. I don't know how else to say it, just awkward, I guess.
No,
Like, I'm
I
posting
can
Kepo
agree.
videos, and then I go into school and I have to be on the mats and sit there and be like, just and I'm a very humble person. I just enjoy what I do, and I like to do it as excellently as I can. But there's always that fear that people will uh, misinterpret or prejudge me, or
Hmm.
kind of, I guess, assume, or I guess assume that I think I'm better than people, or I think I'm comparing myself in terms of levels to other people. You know what I mean? And
Oh yeah. Yeah.
that was a little bit a tough part in my journey, when uh, it's that comes into question, I guess. But and it did kind of dissuade me a little bit from kind of doing that, from sharing my Kempo with the world. And even though I had a lot of positive feedback from it, and I could tell that it was like touching people, which is what I wanted. It was still just kind of like a little scary and daunting. So, but I tried to focus more on not so much on how I felt, but more on the good that it will bring, because that's the purpose behind it. It's not really just sort of like be like, "Hey, look at me," which I guess it's helpful in terms of my career, but it wasn't the root of why I was doing this and what drives me to keep doing this when it gets annoying and I have to deal with trolls
Hmm.
and the patriarchy and racists and like just crazy stuff. It's the world. It's a reflection of kind of the world we're in, and it's not all sunshine and rainbows. But they take sacrifice for anything that's worth doing and anything with purpose, I think. And so I continued on, and um, I think actually, well, I know that it has given me uh, an edge, I think, having to put myself on tape so often and to edit all those tapes. And I guess it gave me more time than maybe the average
Hmm.
Kempo practitioner. It gave me more time to really look at my movement, not just like in the mirror on the mats, but like looking at it from that third point of view that Master Ed Parker always talks about. And I really feel like I got broader understanding of what he meant by that third POV. And I
Hmm.
think it gave me an ability to critique the concepts of Kempo within my Kempo a little easier and kind of disconnect myself from it. Because when you're doing Kempo and you're standing in front of your partner and you're in the motion of Kempo, there's it happens in the blink of an eye, really.
Oh yeah.
Kempo's fast, it moves fast, and I love moving fast. I love kind of like the leopard speed, right? But um, there's only so much you can really focus on in there. And so I really appreciate that this content creation subcategory here in my training helped me uh, connect to my movement and understand my movement and my tendencies a lot better. Especially once I started to get to, green and brown, when things get like, at least in my mind, that's when things were like, whoa, okay,
Oh
we're
yeah.
doing Kempo. Like, whew,
Oh yeah. I'm right there
like
with you.
that's it felt like my I always say my green belt was my like Kempo renaissance, because it's when things started to click a little bit more.
Hmm.
And yeah, so that brought me kind of through my main Kempo journey. The thing I hadn't mentioned was when I started Kempo, even though I loved the school, loved the style, um, I still wanted to do, like, I was still very interested in weapon work.
Hmm.
And it's still an empty hand style. And even with some of the other martial arts styles that kind of like kenjutsu, and because I was very very interested in the sword and a lot of all of the really like kung fu weapons, like any of them, like I'm gonna be excited about, really. I just was
Hmm.
super interested in them. But um I had to prioritize practicality, so I went for kempo. But I still super interested in weapons, but there wasn't a lot of that being taught at my school. um and I wanted, like, because you're learning Kempo and it's so practical and so real life, that's one appeal. But for me as an actor or performer, as raised on these martial arts films, I wanted flash. Like,
Yeah.
I want flash. I want big, expansive performance. I was really like, I love looking at wushu for a while just because of that, like, kind of acrobatic element that was added into it, and that kind of I love that epic martial arts feel. And when I make movies, I want it to feel epic. And there's a place for practicality, but then there's that place. That's why we're still playing video games. Like, I'm a big
Hmm.
gamer too, so I'm
Oh,
like,
very
you know
nice.
what I mean. We want the swoosh, we want the sounds, we want the lights, we want, like. So I wanted to have that in my martial arts journey too, but didn't know where to go for that. And I'd also didn't want to take too many eggs out of my Kempo basket. So I decided to just take what I was learning in Kempo, the concepts of motion, some of these universal ideas, and think about them in terms of weapon work and trying to take my Kempo and have it be extended by these different weapons. So staff and sword, the katana, were the main two that I used to kind of explore the universal symbol. Just trying to explore the different pathways and the different maneuvers that are kind of laid out in the universal symbol and what that gives us as Kempoists. And even though it wasn't always so practically um, done, like the weapon work. There's a lot of
Hmm.
spinning, a lot of twirling, a lot of flowers and things, flourishes and things. It still taught me something about movement, like the physical movement in space. So that's where I kind of started to, I always say, like self teaching myself, I guess,
Hmm.
the weapon work. But it was definitely it did kind of bloom from what I had been learning in Kempo. That's kind of where my early weapon work originated from. And then after a little while, I went to kind of learn the more traditional ideas with those certain weapons, like with the staff or with the katana, especially. And I started doing like the butterfly knives. Oh, the
Oh,
butterfly knives, those are
oh
my
yeah,
favorite.
love
The
those.
balisong,
Hmm.
which have a lot of, I guess, like in my mind, Kempo concepts with all the ricocheting and things like that, and kind of inertia play, I suppose. So the nunchucks, like all this stuff, like I look at it and it kind of makes me think deeper about Kempo, and so that's how that kind of like blended into my Kempo journey, um, which I thought was also, once again, very, very beneficial. I started doing this candle. It's like a party trick, I guess. For my birthday, I started doing a thing where I'd like put out these candles with different weapons. Every birthday, I'd spend like a dumb amount of hours just trying to like extinguish these candles because I wanted, keep in mind this is the epic martial arts thing, right? But I wanted to have, for me, knowing my size, knowing um, that I'm a petite girl, like, even though I feel like I think I have that weird body thing where I think that I'm taller and bigger than I really am. But
Yeah.
then I see myself on video and I'm like, look at that little girl, where's that little girl? So with that, I knew early on that I needed to be absolutely solid technically in my foundations of Kempo because I needed to conjure whatever amount of power my body and my weight could. And with that, I also needed to be swift and I needed to be accurate because I can't just like barrel forward. I'm not like a juggernaut, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? I can't just tank it out. That's not how it's going to be for me. And so I knew that accuracy is something that I wanted to put extra attention on from white belt all the way up until where I'm at right now. I was like, I need to go where I want to go. I want to try to always think about the accuracy, always think about the accuracy and my footwork, like my stances. Like I did not want to cop out on those at all. Even though the hands are fun, I did not want to like every forward bow. That heel better be
Hmm.
glued and you better pull it out of the ground. You know what I mean?
Oh
Because
yeah,
you
oh
need to
yeah.
be able to
Got to have a
figure
good
out a way
foundation,
to.
a good base. Uh,
Yep, absolutely. So when I started doing this candle trick, what I learned through this kind of, um, I guess not, like, I guess, this kind of unique learning experience was my range, having the different range for the different weapons and how to produce power. It gave me a different exploration of power somehow, like how I affect the air around me. Because, you
mhm.
know, it seems simple, but it wasn't. It wasn't simple at all. It actually took some before, and I'm still not like, I'm not, you like, if you put a candle in front of me and you're like, hey, extinguish this, it's not like I'm going to do it on the first try. I mean, I just might, but it's not like something where I'm like, try me like at all. But I have a proficiency in it, I guess, for whenever I'll use that. But it gave me an understanding of my range, my power, having accuracy to like when I'm trying to strike a specific spot and I'm missing it. So let me adjust. It's like making all of these micro adjustments, just like we do in Kempo, really. You know what I mean? Those tiny little micro adjustments can be the difference between a long fight or a short one. You know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um,
Exactly.
so that's kind of how I guess my journey in terms of my weapon work alongside my Kempo. Um, and yeah, oh my goodness, I feel like I've been. I think I covered everything. Um, but yeah, overall, like I just really love Kempo. I definitely anticipate um, going pretty far with this system. I feel like some sort of responsibility to um, continue it forward and to I just want to be an example and a representative of technical Kempo, um, where I think in my world the best thing that could happen is for the Kempoists coming in the future, the women growing up and that could get benefit from Kempo. I want to be able to be a representative for them. Um, that this is a great art for women. It's um, very practical. It instills so much confidence, or at least it did with me. And w- if you really pay attention to all of these concepts and really, really kind of like ingrain them in your body, like I think it's just it's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty. And so yeah, I guess I think I've mentioned that's kind of my how I got to where I am today with Kempo and kind of my hopes for it in the future. I just want to keep giving back to it. It's done so much for me in my life, and yeah, I guess I want to serve it well, I suppose. So
Mm. Very, very
yeah.
nice. I'm even more enjoyed. Can't even think of words at the moment. I'm more inspired by your story and hearing the details of it. I'm like, man, like you're definitely rocking it. I know
Thank you.
one of the things that stood out to me about your videos when it initially came across them was that I did have that feeling of going on that journey with you. I remember kind of one of the videos. I don't know how long it was you were into uh, being a green belt, but I remember seeing one of the videos and I was like, oh, like she's a green belt now, like awesome, and kind of feel like I was going on that journey, and then you get your brown, and it's like all right, like I'm following your progress
Yeah.
and then just I mean you have very clean technique, very clean style, and uh, uh, it's just it's like yes, this is the kind of thing that we need to see. I can totally relate to being out there. It, it's still very scary. A big reason why this show is audio only and not video is because I cannot stand looking at myself on video. Um, I kept saying it keeps coming up as my New Year's resolution that I'm gonna work on putting out more videos. So my other core art is capoeira, and
Mm.
I was gonna do some capoeira videos, and I'm just I look at my little phone and I look at the tripod and I'm thinking, no, that's not gonna happen. But I'm working my way up to it. Uh, but yeah, I love your passion for the art. I like that you're not just kind of you're not doing it for the just doing it for the clicks and
Hmm.
the and I like that you are, bringing up the Kempo principles and getting that deeper understanding of the art, and it's not just, oh
Hmm.
well, I'm just going to kick and punch and do that.
Yeah.
That you're trying to apply all of those various principles into the art. So that's a huge for me. You've uh, rung up the ladder of awesomeness in my book. So now I'm even more excited to follow your career, and um, yeah, keep on spreading the good word and doing great things. Um, there are, oh my goodness, there are so many different things that I would love to get into, and so we'll definitely have to do this again. But
Yes. Yeah.
let's go ahead and move into our lightning round here, and then we'll close out from there. So, got a few
Okay.
little questions to throw your way. First one being, do you have a favorite technique?
Oh boy. Gosh. I've definitely been considering these things coming up with my black belt form. Um, I will say the first one that comes to mind, even though I really love a good chunk of this. I'm gonna say unfurling crane. Um, I think I just love the coordination of it. I love that it's not just a single strike. I love that it's a left right.
Hmm.
Um, and the kind of the pathways taken before the kind of like spread at the end. I just think it's a good flow. I love the flow. I love when people ask me about it. I love teaching it. I'm just like, yes, let's unfurl the crane.
All right,
But
yeah, that's
yeah,
that's a
I'll
great
say
one.
that.
It's a great one. I like it. I like it. All right, next one. Do you have a favorite form and/or set?
um, I do like finger set. Um, I'd say form. Goodness. It's a tie-up between short 3 and long 4, but at the same time, long 4 and I are still kinda we got a thing going on right now.
Yeah.
We're getting to know each other a little bit more. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
but definitely a beautiful form. Is just the most frustrating one, so I don't know, like, a little bit of both of that.
Yeah.
But I think I'd probably then just say short 3. Short 3 is good. I like that it kinda gets more of those circles in there and
Hmm.
those very, it's got a good flow. It's got a nice little snap, but kind of flow to it.
Hmm.
And it's short. It's nice, short, and sweet. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna. So, I guess some Kempo people are gonna love that I'm gonna say this, and some are probably gonna not like it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So I think you should learn book set, and I think you would do very 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 well with that form. Um, if you're not familiar with it, a lot of
Mm-mm.
Kempo schools don't teach it anymore. Um, it is a form that is still taught in the Tracy version of Kempo. So yeah, there are ways to get at it, but my understanding is it was a form that was going to be in one of Ed Parker's first books, and there was some sort of falling out between him and the gentleman that created it, and so the form was replaced with a two-man set in the book.
Mm.
So, but it's really cool form, or at least it's probably one of my favorite forms. I still do it in the first version of Kempo that I trained in, so I still do it. But I'll get you the details on it. But I think you would
Yeah.
do good with that form, and I think you'd probably like it. So I'm just gonna
Okay,
gonna throw
great.
that out
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
All right. Next question. Do you have a favorite weapon?
Katana, easily. Other than myself, right? That's what every Kempo is
That's
supposed to
yeah.
say.
Oh yeah. No,
Um,
great answer. Great answer.
other than other than myself, because I am the perfect weapon. No, I would say katana definitely. Definitely, definitely. I think the katana it feels very spiritual to me. And so as I've kind of said, I think the underbelly of my martial arts journey has been very spiritual. So I would say the katana for sure.
Very nice. Very nice. I like it. I like it. Right. And then our last question there, if there is anyone that you could train with, living or dead, fictional or non-fictional, besides Ed Parker, who would that be?
Oh goodness. Hmm. I would say,
And if there's
well,
more than one, is that's fine too.
I mean, the first one that comes to mind is Michael J. White.
Ah, yes. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, he's just the first to come to mind. That is such a loaded question. Like, I would love to. That's a, I mean, I could say Bruce Lee as well, but I'm gonna go Michael J. White. That's my answer. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Good thing this is not recorded. That's my man crush. So don't tell anybody. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I
Nobody
will
will
tell
hear that,
nobody.
so I can say that. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I like it. I like it. All right, so now is your time for shameless self promotion. So you can plug anything you want, or if there's anything
Oh.
that we didn't touch on that you want to make sure we get out today. Now is your time to say whatever you'd like. You have the floor, and then we will close out from there.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm on social media, Quartay DeNaya. I have my Instagram, which is my main platform, TikTok, and YouTube. It's mostly a lot of YouTube shorts, a lot of vertical video. Um, yeah, I guess I'll wrap out by saying, kind of, but my mother always told me, you can really do anything you put your mind to. Just quiet the doubts, feel the fear, and do it anyways. Because courage has no definition without fear. So take up courage, keep moving, keep fighting, never stop. The idea is to be unstoppable, always, to have a fervor in your heart and peace in your mind, um, and strength in your body. And yeah, just keep going, keep moving, keep fighting.
I like it. I like it. Very well said. So
Thank you.
yes, once again, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to be on with me, and I'm
Thank you. Thank you.
overjoyed to hear your story. And like I said, we'll definitely have to do this again and get into the myriad of other things that I wanted to bring up, but I was just so locked into what you had going on that I just said, well, we'll have to save that for another day. But yeah, no, thank you so much, and yeah, I can't wait for everyone to hear this and uh, yeah, get your story out there and keep inspiring and keep fighting the good fight and keeping Kempo growing and moving. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to My Empty Hands. If you enjoyed the show, please share it with a friend. If you didn't enjoy it, please share it with an enemy. If you'd like to be a guest, or if you would like to recommend a guest for the show, please email me at podcast@talkingkempo.com. Thank you.